Hello everyone, this is Lance. This is Mahjong Tips 23, I think. Okay, today we are going to talk about 投资. So this is specifically just for Singapore Mahjong. Okay, so first let me go through what 投资 means for those of you who are not sure. Okay, so let's say you have a 平胡 hand or sequences. Okay, but in Singapore Mahjong you can only win from other players if you are waiting on two sides. So in this case you're waiting up Kalong 1, so you cannot win from other players. Okay, so what 投资 means is that if the player on your left hand side throws your winning tile 1, right, you can take the 1 and eat the 1, and then from your hand you can discard anything to make your hand wait on two sides. Let's say you choose to discard 1, okay, then you are now waiting on 1, and because your Pinghu is now waiting on two sides, you can win from other players. Okay, so why do we what is the point of 投资 in Singapore Mahjong? So as I've said, firstly, you can now win from other players because you are now waiting on two sides for your Pinghu. Okay, then of course to wait on two sides compared to a Kalong wait, right? There's a higher chance that you will be able to 自摸 your two-sided wait also. Okay, so your winning chance is greatly increased because not only can you take from other players, but you also have higher chance of 自摸 the weight that has better chance like more tiles available for your weight. Okay, but there are sometimes reasons for you to not 投资. Okay, the first reason will be maybe there's no more draws left near the end of the game. Okay, you eat, right, then also no point cause like at the end of the game there's like no draws, like if you don't have a draw to like 自摸 or whatever, right, then you might as well just draw a tile now, okay, and see whether you can draw in your Kalong. Okay, then if there's no good weights to change to, is like for example your 投资, right, whatever you throw okay, is like worse than waiting for your Kalong because very late in the game all the tiles have come out already. Okay, so if there's nothing good to change to, like no good two-sided weight that your hand can produce, okay, then you don't need to 投资 continue waiting for your Kalong. Okay, and maybe also hope that you can slide like just now 1 right, you can, even if you're waiting on the Kalong 1, you can also draw 1, then you can wait on two sides. Okay, then if you are playing 门清, okay, some of you who if you are still playing the classic Mahjong rules, then you do play 门清, right? Okay, if you are playing 门清and like just now that hand is you never eat any tiles from other people, right? So if you are playing 门清 it could be a possible reason that you don't 投资 because you want to 自摸 门清 Pinghu, which is much higher value than just Pinghu itself. Okay, but this third reason is firstly dependent on whether you play the rule 门清, okay, and also usually we should prioritize winning chance over winning value. Okay, so this third reason, it should not be an important reason unless like you are losing very badly or something. Okay, so how do you decide? Like just now we say you eat the 1 and then you throw 1 wait 1. Okay, how do we decide what to wait? Because there's a lot of alternatives. You can like throw 2 wait 2 you can throw 4 wait 4 you can throw 6 wait 6 you can throw 8 wait 5 so quite a few different alternatives for your 投资 choice, right? Okay, so after you 吃 1, which one should you throw? The first criteria to decide what should you wait, okay, firstly is the number of remaining outs. Okay, so like if just now my example was throw 1, right, but if there's like only 1 left, then it's obviously a bad choice. Okay, then you want to look at the other choices, see which one has the most number of remaining outs, meaning like the tiles available for the wait. Okay, then yeah, so if none of the choices, like I said just now, if none of the choices like have much tiles remaining, like whether you throw 9万2索4索6索8索, like if none of them are good, right, then don't need to 偷吃 cause this one can draw 4万 and become two-sided also. Okay, then another criteria for considering which one you want to, like which two-sided weight you want to weight if you 偷吃, right, is the blockaded tiles. Meaning, for example, if on the table you see a lot of T1 or 8万, okay, that means that waiting on 9万 is a good choice because the like very difficult for other players to use 9万 in their hand because the 781, right, if a lot of them are on the table, then it's very hard for them to form a sequence with 9万. The 9万 in their hand can only be part of a pair or triplet. Okay, so this is something that I've emphasized a lot of times in like the defense against Pinghu video, the war reading video, and so on. Okay. Okay, so another example, like for example, you see a lot of 二索, then waiting for 一索 is a good choice. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the house rules for 偷吃. Okay, this first appeared in the video I made on 过水, or in Japanese we call 福利10. Okay, so this 偷吃, right, is very important for us to clarify this house rule in Singapore Mahjong. Okay, if I go to a forum game, I don't need to clarify things like 花胡 or 小四喜 because most likely it won't happen in those few pop that I play at that particular place. Okay, but 偷吃 is something that is so common that we go any place, right, we have to clarify the house rules at that place. Okay, so the classic rule for 偷吃, right, is that you can hu on other sides after you 偷吃 immediately. Okay, for example here, if you want to 偷吃 and then you throw 四筒, okay, like you 偷吃 somewhere else, then you throw 四筒, now you wait 147筒. Okay, then by the classic SG Mahjong rule, you can then win on 一筒 as well as 七筒. Okay, but you cannot win on 四筒. Very rarely house rules will have that you can win on the tile that you just discarded because it's very illogical from other players' standpoint. Like they want to defend against you but they throw the same tile as you, then you pull them, is very weird. Yeah. Okay. But of course this classic rule for 偷吃, right, is it defies the usual defense against 平胡 logic. Okay. Like because usually if it's let's say 2, 3, 4, right, and then you throw 4, you cannot win back on the 1 immediately. Okay, you have to go 1 round first, and that is the standard forum rule. You must wait 1 round until you draw a tile. Okay, if got people pong and 吃 there, right, it's not considered 1 round yet until you draw a tile. Okay, so the standard forum rule is you must wait 1 round, then you can win on after you 偷吃. Okay, so whether it's 147筒, you must wait 1 round. Okay, so this is more in line with the usual defense against Pinghu, where we say like you cannot win on the other side. Okay, or we call Suji in for those of you who play Wiji Mahjong. Okay, so like I just reiterate, we should clarify this house rule every time we go play in forum. Okay, because it's very important, very common. Okay, now moving on from this, right, whatever is the house rule, okay, this situation over here, we can perform a fake 偷吃, meaning over here if someone appears from your left hand side, you should not take the 121 and eat, because if you take the 121 and eat and then 偷吃, right, then you wouldn't be able to win in that first round. Like if you are playing the standard forum rule, right, you won't be able to win if you 偷吃 for 1 round, right, but if you take the 241 and eat, okay, if the someone come out from your left, you take 241 and eat and throw 1, it's not considered 偷吃, although it sort of has the same effect, right? You're now waiting from Kalong become wait 2 sides. Okay, but if you take 241 and eat, you straight away can wait on 471 already. You have not performed a legitimate 偷吃 action. So regardless of whatever the house rule of 偷吃 is, you can immediately win from other players. Okay, Okay. Okay, so last slide over here. I want to help you to identify 偷吃, meaning like detect 偷吃 from other players. Okay, that's a good skill to have. Okay, regardless of whatever the house rule is, right? We don't need to like bitch about the whether the house rule being immediately can win on the other sides or later can win on the other sides, right? It doesn't matter that much because the next turn after you go one round, right? If it's a 偷吃, after you go one round, you still can 放炮 with the same tile some more. Okay, so the more important point here is whether you can identify the other players 偷吃. Okay, so some guiding principles. Firstly, we should start taking note if someone has no flowers, meaning the 4 tie no flower 平湖, okay, or too many flowers, like too many tie. Okay, if people are just like 1 tie or 2 tie 凑平湖, we don't really need to care that the person 偷吃 or not. It's not a very big concern for us because if it's like 1 or 2 tie, then you're not guarding against that player, right? You're guarding against other players or playing your own hand. Okay, so you only want to guard against the very expensive ones. Okay, so start taking note of players who have no flowers or too many flowers. Then, like just now we say that usually if okay, so just now we not usually, sorry. Just now we say that the one reason to not 偷吃, right, is you are waiting 门清平湖. Okay, but even on a car long. So if someone were to make the first smell, right, we will assume that is not yet a 偷吃 because it is very unlikely for players to eat one time and then 听牌 already. Okay, that means the hand very nice. So rarer. At the same time also that player might not want to 偷吃 because could be aiming for 门清. So this is not 100%, it's just a way, a guideline for to help us identify, like gauge whether a player doing 平湖 is performing a 偷吃 or not. Okay, then later in the game, we need to be more wary if the player, right, who has no flowers or too many flowers eats a close or end weight, meaning 卡龙 or 边张. Okay, 边张 means like 1 2 8 3 or 8 9 8 7. Okay, or 卡龙 you know, right? Okay, so later in the game, uh with if it's not the first smell, right, we have to be more wary. Okay, then we don't assume that the tile discarded here is safe. Like for example, in that case, if someone eat a 卡龙 and then throw 四通, then we don't assume that 一通 and 七通 is safe. We also don't assume that 四通 itself is safe. Only for that one go around, we assume that 四通 is safe. We must faster follow the tile that the person throw. Okay, once you cross one round, regardless of whatever the house rule is, that tile is no longer safe already. The tile that the player immediately throws after eating a 卡龙. Okay, then we cannot assume that it's safe. We will only follow that tile if we are guarding, right? We will only follow that tile as a last resort after we have thrown all other possible safe tiles. Okay, so just a few guidelines to help you to identify 偷吃, something that is very common in Singapore Mahjong. Okay, so it is an important skill for players to be able to like suspect that a player doing 平湖 is 偷吃 lah, then you can defend appropriately. Okay, yeah, so that's all for this Mahjong tips, and I heard that next week onwards we can continue playing Mahjong already. I'm so happy about it. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye.